welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, it's our job to give you some interesting bits in world sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across in an hour-long or so podcast. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And, we've got news to get to, some that we don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
But we'll get there, and we'll carry you along with us, and we'll all have fun on this late episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We'll get to all that in just a minute. But before we do that, Mikey, my friend, how you doing? What's happening in Costanzo country?
Doing good. We went to D.C. This past weekend. Jordan and I took my mom and my aunt to go visit my cousin, their niece. In DC.
Visited your former cousin's roommate?
No. It's my younger cousin, my mom and my aunt's niece. She lives and works in DC, so we went down to visit her. It was a fantastic weekend to see her. She doesn't come up all that often. She took us to some of the lesser known attractions in DC. Everybody does like the National Mall and the museums. My aunt is not a museum person, so we had to get creative. So we went to instead the Library of Congress.
She doesn't like learning.
No, she loves learning. She just gets she'll do this thing I noticed in everywhere that we went. She'll hyper focus on one or two things and be like, "All right, I'm done with
learning
with the thing in general." Yeah, she'll see the first couple of exhibits and be like, "Cool, I know everything I need to know about this attraction. Can we go now?"
Okay.
But no, so we did the.
Boy, don't give her a trilogy then.
Yeah,
she only reads the first two acts.
Exactly. No, but we did the Library of Congress, which was really cool. Not a lot of people go to check it out, but it's really neat. The building is entirely marble because it burned down 2 or 3 times. So the last time they're like, screw it, we're just gonna make the entire thing marble.
Okay.
And the interior is really neat because all of the architecture and sculptures and artwork in there, they're all there's a reasoning behind all of them. So they have different schools of thought, like murals on the ceilings and different statues that represent things built into the architecture of the building. And we also got to go see the old post office tower, which is, I think, the second tallest structure in D.C. outside the Washington Monument. But it's cool because from the post office tower, you can see the Washington Monument. And again, not many people know to go check out the old post office tower.
Okay, so the post office tower, that was actually the tallest thing before the Washington Monument.
I think it was.
Really?
I don't know which was built first, but it's because the whole thing with D.C. There's no buildings taller than, I forget how many stories it is.
Yeah.
It's a very low city. So it was really
it's literally all swamp.
Yeah, it is all swamp.
I mean, we covered how deadly the landscape is with our Dead Presidents podcast.
Yeah, William Henry Harrison, the 1 month president. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got to tour the swamplands. It was nice. It was good.
You didn't eat any what was it? Strawberries and cream? Well,
no, I did not eat any strawberries and cream. But
cherries and cream? What was it? What?
It was cherries and cream, and that was a different president.
Right, that's not Henry Harrison.
That was Zachary Taylor, I think.
Yes. I think
maybe.
You're right. It was the Whigs. Those damn Whig presidents.
Those weird political parties that don't matter anymore.
Yeah. They died. Literally.
They did. They all died off. But I did have chicken and waffles for brunch one day.
Okay. All right. You're speaking my language now.
It was.
I love a good chicken and waffle.
So it was red velvet waffles, though.
Whoa.
Which was really good.
Which is basically red chocolate.
Yeah, it was tasty.
All right.
And the other brunch, we had brunch twice. The other brunch that I had was biscuits with sausage and hash browns and.
And you covered the gravy and everything.
Oh yeah.
Tell me you cover the gravy and everything.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
And I also got a side of grits, of course. Oh god, so good. Yeah.
There you go. Food report.
It's not that much further south than we are, but there's that southern influence in some of the cooking, which I like.
Yeah. I mean, is it below? That's technically below Mason-Dixon.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not deep south.
No, not deep south, but they have like just chicken and waffles and grits everywhere, which was nice. So
All right,
that's
there
what
you
I
go.
got up to.
Food report there from Mike as he
Yeah.
went to DC.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
I've been playing Jedi Survivor.
Nice. How far along are you?
I don't know. I'm on the part where you go to the moon.
Okay.
There was an exploded moon or something.
Yeah, the shattered moon.
Shattered moon.
Yeah.
Exploded. I don't know. Something went wrong with this moon. So
Whenever moons are blowing up, you know something bad has happened.
yeah.
So what are you thinking of the game so far?
I love the gameplay. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's fantastic to be like a different Jedi.
Yeah.
I also love like the different ways to fight. Because you have the single lightsaber, but double lightsaber, and also you can split the lightsaber too and have two separate single lightsabers.
Yeah, which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, what's your preferred combat style in that? I found myself using the double-bladed lightsaber a lot.
I like the two separate,
Like
like Ahsoka.
Yeah, like Fast and Furious, get in real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's the most fun.
I liked the double-bladed lightsaber because it allowed me to just like flip all around the battlefield.
Yeah,
I like being super mobile and stuff. So
Right.
that was my favorite one. It's a good game.
They should have done more of that in the Star Wars movies. Only
Which-
Darth Maul has the double-bladed lightsabers.
Yeah, I always thought it was an area that they could have expanded on more. Every time you see somebody with a slightly different lightsaber, it's always like, ooh, like they could have made
look,
some of them more unique.
When Episode 1 first came out, and you saw the trailer where, you know, everybody's lighting up their lightsabers, and then you see Darth Maul, and he's got it horizontal, and the one goes up, and then the second one goes up, everybody went crazy. That was like, oh my God, what is this?
When when it first came out, it was like, what, 98, 99?
99.
Something like that. I was like 10 or 11 years old. I saw that movie 3 times in theaters solely because of Darth Maul.
Yeah,
He was my favorite character by far.
yeah.
By far.
Yep, they didn't utilize that as often as they should have.
Double-bladed lightsabers, dual-wielding lightsabers. I mean, you know, it makes you think like could have been so many cool combinations.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Speaking of missed opportunities,
Should we dive into sports then?
yeah, I thought that would be a great transition
Yeah.
to get into the sports sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
Oh, did we get sports in our face here in Philadelphia? Because when we last were talking on the podcast, the Phillies were up 2-0.
Yep.
We thought everything was looking hunky-dory, and then everything fell apart.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
And I got to admit, most of my time this weekend has been spent just mourning the loss of the Philadelphia Phillies, as they were right there. They could have entered into a back-to-back National League championship seasons
Yeah.
and have another trip to the World Series at hand, but it was not meant to be. The Phillies were up 2-0 in the National League Championship Series. Then they traveled to Arizona. Arizona won 2 in a row, but you kind of like, all right, they're back at home. That's why Game 5 was the pivotal moment. Phillies win Game 5, and you're like, oh my gosh, 2 games back home. All they got to do is win 1. This sounds like a piece of cake. And nothing happened from the batting order. The bats,
3 runs over 2 games.
Yep, the bats went dead cold.
Yep.
And was not enough to ice the Diamondbacks. And matter of fact, the Diamondbacks are now your National League champions. I gotta say, congratulations to Arizona. They pulled it off.
They did. They were 6th seed, I think you said.
Yep. And again, another 6th seed makes
Yeah.
the World Series, and that's another topic we're gonna have to get to another day. But they pulled it off. They stunned the Phillies in a big comeback. They came into Philadelphia and won 2 games with their backs against the wall.
That's tough because I mean the Phillies fans this year have been just phenomenal.
I think it was something like the month of October up until those 2 games, the Phillies were undefeated at home.
Yeah. I think the fans had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I see all the social media posts about like the fans singing I forget who it is, his entrance song, and the fans have just been so great all postseason.
Yeah. But
it's tough to win in Philly in general, but
yeah, This is definitely going to go down as one of I'll put it in like 5 to 10 worst losses that I've seen.
I mean, it's pretty bad. I mean,
it's funny. Like I actually was like seriously trying to make up a list, and I could actually come up with like 10 great Philadelphia sports losses in my lifetime.
there's been a lot.
There's been a lot.
There's been a lot.
Yeah.
Could be a much longer list. This is definitely up there, though. I mean, you lead 2 games to nothing. I mean,
So
when we were done recording, I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, all right, well, like next week, we're going to be talking World Series.
yeah, you're not the only one. A lot of people were.
I think a lot of people counted their chicks before they hatched.
Yes, they did.
I don't know how you go up 2 to nothing and then 1-4.
Yeah, the 1-4
Like, that's-
part.
Man.
Yeah, it was very disappointing. For me, it was just the bat's just not going. I mean, this is what you're paying the big hitters for. And I mean,
they got all their hits in game. What is it? Game 2. It was 10-0.
Yeah, and then that's it. It's like
Yeah.
they spent all their energy in that game. The really stunning stat for me was the top 3 in the batting order: Schwarber, Trey Turner, and Bryce Harper. In Game 7, went 1 for 18.
Man,
That is
why
embarrassing.
are you paying these guys hundreds of millions of dollars?
You're not going to win
No.
a game. You're not going to win a Game 7. You have to get production from them. You know, I don't care how good your pitching is or what the rest of the order looks like. It's just you
that's
got
why
to lead off.
That's why you're paying those guys.
Yeah, it was definitely frustrating as hell to see that stat come up.
This is really disappointing. You know, the game that shocked me was Game 4. I was watching that game in DC in a sports bar the night that we got down there, and I was like, at one point we were leading. It was like 4 to what was it? At one point we had a sizable lead in that game.
Yeah,
And I was like, you know, we left. I'm like, oh, they got it wrapped up. And then
Nope.
I checked my phone by the end of the night. I'm like, what happened?
Yep. I think that was the one the relief pitching
Yeah.
went on that one.
Yeah, we were leading deep in that game
Yeah.
from what I remember.
Yeah. It just a lot of missed opportunities, blown chances. It stings. The whole thing stings because it feels like the Phillies could have won this. They could have put
easily.
the icing on this
Oh,
and
easily.
made it to the World Series, but unfortunately that is not the case. And now they go into the off season and they're going to have to review what went wrong. And there's going to be some big decisions coming up. Aaron Nola is going to be a free agent. There's going to be some Reese Hoskins.
I mean, they got to pay those 2 guys.
I don't know what you do with Reese Hoskins. He got hurt this year, but for the whole season. I mean, I don't know.
But
That
didn't he
could be
prove himself previously?
That could be a casualty.
You think so? There's no cap in baseball. Just pay him.
No, but the owner has to be willing to pay money
Oh,
out of the.
boo-hoo. Raise hot dog prices 50 cents. Make it back in 40 games. Get out of here. Get out of here.
I know you like to think that, Mike, but it's yes and no. It can be that easy, but sometimes it can't be.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, if they want to
that's really more the Yankees and the Red Sox.
I'll make it even easier for them. If they want to get back to this stage, you got to pay the guys that help get you here.
Yes, but I don't know. Do you want? I don't know. The injury to Reese Hoskins is pretty significant. I don't know if you.
What was his injury? And
he was out the whole season. I think it was Tommy John or something like that. It was.
is
bad.
that still as bad as it once was? Before you would get Tommy John's, is like that's it. When you put him on a stretcher, take him to the old folks' home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It also depends on how you recover. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
I don't even know what that injury is. I just know it's really bad
It's
in
the
baseball.
elbow when you're throwing.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is.
It's the ligament goes.
You tear the ligament?
Yeah, and you have to get it all reconstructed.
Why
It's
is it
nasty.
named after a dude?
I don't know.
Everything
Interesting.
else is ACL tear and
Well,
MCL
technically,
tear.
You want to get it? It's a UCL. That's
This one, they're just like, no, it's Tommy John's.
because it's common
know.
in baseball.
Yeah.
because you're constantly.
It's that
that
motion.
motion, yeah. It's a UCL tear off top.
It's
of my
the
head.
equivalent of a total knee blowout in football.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, like it's that common. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah.
No, it's that severe.
that common and that severe.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you. Yep.
So you're saying no, he's done.
I mean, I'm just saying it depends. There depends. Like, did he recover well? Is he still going to have the same production? What's he demanding? Like,
Yeah.
that's not as simple as just re-sign him. even though there is no salary cap.
Yeah.
Because it's up to the owners. The owners got to. They're the ones that got to sign the checks.
Listen here, Phillies ownership. Don't be dumb.
I mean, it's not exactly like Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner's the one that that family. They're so wealthy, they literally can do whatever they want to. But actually now the Red Sox, I've heard, actually have been more like that now, which is funny. That's like one of those like Star Wars things. Like the Red Sox used to be the rebels. The Yankees were the evil empire. Now the Red Sox
are just as bad.
Yeah,
if not worse.
You become the very thing you swore to destroy.
Fear leads to what is it? Fear
leads
to
to
suffering.
Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
That's what happens when you live in Boston. You suffer.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on down to Philly. Is that what Ben Franklin did?
Look.
What?
The AL East this year, 3 playoff teams. None of them were Yankees or Red Sox.
Come to Philly. We're
look
blue collar, just like you guys. Come to Philly. You don't need to be in Boston.
Take that, Yankees, Red Sox. They like to think they're, They like to think they're the head honchos of the baseball world. They didn't even make the playoffs this year.
Bums. The whole lot of them.
Yeah.
Overpaid bums.
That's another thing, too. All because you pay players, that still doesn't mean you have a good team.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's not a gimmick. It's not a gimme anymore. But nevertheless, it definitely hurt here in the city of brotherly love to see the Phillies lose Game 7 and be knocked out of the playoffs and no World Series here in Philadelphia. The World Series is going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Texas Rangers, which
interesting.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this might be one of the worst case scenarios for Major League Baseball.
They're both low seeds, right?
They're both low seeds, and I don't think they have that big of a. I mean, Texas Rangers might have a little bit of a following. Arizona definitely not that much.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms
so it's
of
not going
ratings,
to pull in the ratings.
This is kind of worst case scenario for Major League Baseball.
Well, why didn't they revise the script so that the Phillies won?
Well, they could have, but I was going to get into this. There is a banging of the drum to review the playoff system.
No, this is stupid. We talked about this briefly before the show.
Yes.
The system is fine the way that it is. You want the lower seeded teams to have a chance. You want to have more playoff teams because it gives you more games. I mean, look, we're at the end of October and we still haven't played a single World Series game. Like, do you remember when the Phillies won the World Series back in 2008? They wrapped the whole thing up before Halloween.
No, the last game was Halloween, I think.
Was it officially? No, I thought they wrapped it up before Halloween.
I don't know. I think it was either or the day before Halloween because it was really creepy because
it was all done with a bow on it before October closed out. Like,
because it was creep. I remember there was something with the moon, or was that the Red Sox? There was something with the moon.
Something with the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when the Phillies won, it was weird. There was like a red blood moon.
Yeah.
It was like raining. It was like the gods of baseball were trying to stop them.
Yeah,
it was like,
the baseball gods were actually trying to stop the Phillies.
Well, that was the year that we broke the curse.
Yeah.
Which is why it was so weird. The Curse of Billy Penn, look it up if you're not familiar with it. But the point that I'm getting at is that baseball, any sport, wants a longer postseason. More games, more ratings, more ad revenue. You want to create parity, which is something that the NFL has been really good with. Some other leagues have struggled with. Basketball.
Yes.
So baseball is achieving what every major league sport wants to do. Don't walk it back. Don't do it. It's okay if low-seeded teams win playoff games. It doesn't have to be the New York Yankees winning every other year. Trust me, it will work out. They will win the next year or the year after. They'll be okay, baseball fans. Don't get all bent out of shape. Okay. I like it when low-seeded teams make it sometimes. It gives you a feel-good story.
Okay.
Why do you want the evil empire to win every year?
All right.
Isn't that the argument? One year, baseball fans are like, it's always the Yankees, the Red Sox. The next year, it's always a low-seeded team. What do you want? Just tell baseball what you want, and they'll do it.
Tell baseball what you want. Tell Mr. Baseball. Tell Mr. Baseball what you want.
What's your perspective? I've been ranting and raving and joking. What do you think?
I gotta admit, I am a little bit concerned over the bye weeks. There's something weird happening that the bye week may not be beneficial in baseball. Like in other sports, in other sports it makes sense because you're trying to rest up your players.
Right.
You're trying to,
they're physical sports, unlike baseball.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
But
not really. Yeah.
To a degree, that's kind of the argument. Is like football, you need in
you need to
football,
recuperate your body.
Yeah, in football, getting the bye week is a huge advantage because you rest up your body. Your players come off of injury reports. Like, yeah, that makes sense. But baseball is such like a trend oriented sport. It's a lot of being in the flow, being in the moment. There might be something to it. I don't know yet. I think we need to see another year or two with this postseason format. And if more 1 and 2 seeds that have the bye go out early, I think you might have a problem here.
I don't think it's a structure problem. I think it's a coaching problem. And I'll explain why. If you're worried your team is going to get cold or get streaky, don't stop. Play exhibition games with your own team. Like, more than practice, like, hold an actual fake game. Yeah.
You're talking about practice?
No, I'm serious though. If you're worried about the players getting cold, like 2 times a week during your bye, play an actual full 9-inning game with just your players.
Well,
there's got to be some kind of strategy.
Yeah.
Or
we'll
just
see.
get rid of the buys and just have a larger playoff bracket.
That might be what comes down the pike. I'm just going to say that's what every league eventually wants, I feel like, in the future.
Has there always been a bye in baseball, or is this new?
This is new to baseball.
So the whole bye week concept is new to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, baseball's never done bye weeks before.
Well, maybe it's just a period of adjustment as well.
It could be. That's why I think you got to at least wait another 2 playoff systems.
Yeah.
Or playoff use. We got to see if this is actually a trend or if it's just like getting used to this system.
Yeah, because there's been years where in football only the 1 seeds make it. Then it's anybody but the 1 seeds make it. So
remember,
you gotta
remember what was it, around like the 2010s? That was like all the wild cards were winning.
Yeah.
You had the Packers. The year Aaron Rodgers won they were a 6 seed.
The Giants won as a 6 seed. The Giants never won when they actually led the league.
Yeah, so it might be that.
Yeah.
So,
give it a couple years. See if there's an actual trend instead of just a knee-jerk reaction.
Right. If we come back to this argument in 3 years, 4 years, all right, then I think we might have to make some changes.
Yeah.
But for right now, the system's too new. I think you got to let it ride.
Yeah. Let it play out.
Yep. Nevertheless, though, sad to see the Phillies go and not be in the World Series. But on the flip side, the Eagles recover on Sunday, and the Eagles had a big win over the Miami Dolphins, 31-17. I called it, and Mikey did not. Ha-ha. Take that.
All right.
Over there, you with the orange shirt over there. Ha.
Orange shirt. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but you are right. You did call it. I was lacking a lot of faith in the Eagles after their loss to the Jets. The Jets were not a good team, and the Eagles laid a dud. So I'm like, all right, Tyreek Hill is just going to burn us because we'd been giving up so much to so many receivers. And then this past week, the Eagles like, hey, remember defense? We can play that against wide receivers and not just running backs.
I told you it was getting to Tua. Like, Tua is susceptible. Like, even though he's been putting up some great numbers and great stats and great games, if he gets rattled, he doesn't have many safety options.
I'm just surprised, and I don't know.
You can't keep bombing at the Tyreek Hill every play.
Well, right. Exactly. However, I thought that Miami and Mike McDaniels would come up with something to attack the middle of the field. And I don't know whether we just played really good middle of the field defense, which would be a first for us this year.
Yeah.
Or whether Miami just decided to never attack the middle and only attack the periphery. I didn't notice a trend one way or another. Nakobe Dean was back in the lineup.
Yes.
And
that helped.
That does help. And I think there's been a little bit of talk online, are we going to go with Nakobe Dean or Nicholas Morrow? Because Nicholas Morrow has been really good in Nakobe Dean's absence. I don't think it can be understated, though, the benefit he brings to coverage responsibilities. Like, he's a great coverage linebacker.
Yep.
So maybe that had something to do with it. Being able to close off the middle of the field allowed that defensive line to get home a little bit more frequently with Tua. I'd love to see that trend continue, especially when we play teams with better tight ends and good slot receivers and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a complete game. Defense got key stops against really good receivers, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. The offense scored in the red zone, 0 penalties. It was just, for the first time this year, clicking on all cylinders, I think.
Yeah, this was a solid showing by the Eagles. I hate to say it, the Jets were a look-ahead game. They did
I think
not.
so. Yeah.
They were all focused on getting ready for the Dolphins, and they forgot about the Jets.
Yeah, looking at it in context, I think it was a trap game.
Yeah.
Definitely. That being said, there were still some things to be concerned about with the Eagles. There's always room for growth. The run game is really struggling to get traction recently.
Can't abandon it though. I don't
No.
like that tendency to just forget about it.
We can't abandon it. We stuck with it for the most part. It was largely ineffective, but we need to figure something out because that really should be the strength of this team.
Yeah, with the way this offensive line plays, yep.
Yeah. So I really want to see them work on that. The other thing that I have marked down as concerning but not ugly. There were no really ugly aspects to this game, but I see some tendencies of the Eagles that give me a little bit of concern, and that's the fact that Hurts is still having way too many turnovers.
Yeah.
An interception and a fumble. Again, in this game, got a couple of sacks. This team in general just relies a little bit on luck sometimes. Penalties, freak plays. Jalen Waddle was like in and out with injury. There's nothing you could do to control that, but I don't want to see drives constantly extended solely because of penalties.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to get that all the time.
Right, and when you go up against truly elite teams like the 49ers and the Chiefs, you can't be like, oh, good thing the refs missed that penalty and called one for us. Like, you can't rely on that. The other thing, though, the biggest concern is they're becoming incredibly one-dimensional.
Yeah.
And that is A.J. Brown. And I know it's working right now.
And it's nice that he's had like 5 straight 125-yard games.
He ties the longest streak in NFL history for.
Yeah.
But there's going to come a day where
somebody will just triple coverage him.
We'll just triple cover him, or I don't know. He's walking in the NovaCare complex and like steps off the curb wrong and twists his ankle. You can't be one-dimensional. We have too many weapons on this team to completely ignore everyone else.
Yeah.
And it's really, like, I don't want to say it's frustrating because I love the fact that A.J. Brown is just having, like, a career year. But does it not concern you that everybody else has completely fallen off the radar?
I'm
Like,
a little worried
where's
about...
Devontae Smith been?
Yeah, I'm worried about Devonta Smith. It seems like he's been quiet.
I don't know.
And then that game against the Jets, he dropped 3 passes that he could have had.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if is he all right? Like, I feel like, is there something they're not telling us?
I think I saw a rumor floated online. I don't know how true it is, but he is a technical master when it comes to route running. And some people are like saying that he's not being challenged. His route running abilities are not being used effectively. Like, they just have him streaking down the field. It's not a good way to use Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
He's a technical.
Put him in some Spider 2Y banana. Come on.
Yeah, get the bananas up in there.
Get that banana going.
Dallas Goedert has been showing up a little bit more recently, but they could do more to get him involved and, spread out the ball a bit more.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to have a really good, passing attack with our running backs as well. I thought we'd be seeing a lot more catches out of the backfield, screens, but we haven't really been doing that. It's just been A.J. Brown, deep pass to A.J., in double, triple coverage.
Yeah, that's not going to fly.
Yeah. You're not going to do that at week 14, 15.
Right. When we start getting to the home stretch of the season, triple cover A.J. Brown.
I'm not being alarmist, though, right?
No.
It's pretty obvious. We have the one guy on offense and then the rest who we completely ignore unless we're forced to acknowledge them.
Devonta Smith needs to step up. Something's wrong there.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on, if it's an injury,
he needs to be getting some more action. If he is 100% healthy, there's something wrong there. He needs to be getting more action.
They need to get more creative with the play calling. I thought we had a really good game in terms of play calling, but it seems like the nuances aren't quite there the way that they were last year.
Yeah. But then more good news. Howie swung for a big trade with the Tennessee Titans. I don't know why they still keep doing trades after A.J. Brown, but sure, why not? The Eagles landed all-pro safety Kevin Byard. Did I say that right?
Byard. Yeah.
Or is it Byard?
Byard.
I'm going to go down to the Byard, have myself a bear with the Byard.
Byard with a beer? Yeah. But yeah, when I saw this, I was so excited because I've been asking for a safety.
You got it. now you got it.
Every week I was writing letters to Santa. Please give us a safety.
Yeah.
And delivered. And like we didn't give up that much. We traded our own safety, Terrell Edmonds, and 2024 5th and 6th round draft picks. I don't know why Tennessee keeps picking up those 215 area code phone calls.
Yeah.
You know? But this is, I think, a great addition.
Yeah, and Titans are in sell mode now.
Yeah, it's fire sale.
Yeah, they're 2-5, I think. They're not making the playoffs.
And they said everybody's available.
Yeah,
because their rookie's he's getting the start.
Oh, by the way, yeah, milk alert. Let's
get all the milk out of the stadium.
Yeah, because it's Will Levis that we covered during the draft previously this year. He's making his first start for the Titans.
Yeah.
So if you're Atlanta, get the milk out because that's who you're facing this Sunday. The guy that does not like milk. The guy that's afraid of milk. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's afraid
that's
of it.
What they said. He
doesn't even like to be around it.
He will not. He would rather put mayo in his coffee than milk, which is disgusting.
I tried it. It was not good.
That is disgusting.
You never tried it though.
No, I will not try. That is an abomination.
Last time I used olive oil mayo, but now I have regular mayo.
So you want to retry it?
No, I'm not going to do that again.
How about if Will Levis wins?
If Will Levis wins,
if he wins in his rookie debut,
I will have a cup of coffee with mayo in place of creamer.
There you go.
On the podcast again.
Lock it down. There you go. There's the bet.
I don't care. I'll do it.
There you go.
But back to Kevin Byard. The real good news out of Tennessee. Third in interceptions since 2016. He has a knack for getting the ball. He said that he's a local kid, so he looked up to Brian Dawkins growing up, models his play after him. The Eagles even gave him Brian Dawkins' old locker. There's like weird stars aligning moments happening here.
Nice.
I don't know that he's going to be an all-pro again for us at the age of 30, but he's a definite upgrade, and it allows our secondary to be a little bit more flexible.
Yeah. And if the Eagles make a postseason run, he has experience. So
yep.
Looking good on that front. But now with that in mind, we need to look forward to this upcoming week with other games with the Fantastic Four picks. You ready, Mike?
Let's do it.
All right. Fantastic Four pick mode activated. What are the games?
All right. First up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Buffalo to face off against the Buffalo Bills. This is the Thursday night game. Both these teams fighting to stay relevant. The Bucs at 3-3, the Bills at 4-3. We thought they'd run away with that division, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Rich, who gets this win here? Two really tough defensive teams.
It is, but don't overthink this. I know there might be a little bit of hoopla around Tampa Bay, but the Buffalo Bills are still a very good team. The Tampa Bay Bucs, they're going to have to come into this as the away game on a Thursday night, which historically is just a bad spot to be in. I think Buffalo is going to be able to handle this and take the win. The point spread is around a touchdown. I would say you might want to use a teaser and knock that down to just the Bills win. But other than that, I'm very confident Bills win outright on Thursday night.
Well, the bookies are even more confident because according to ESPN.com, the line is now 9 for Buffalo.
Oh, jumped up?
Jumped up. Yeah, I think it is going to be that lopsided. I don't think it's going to be like a complete blowout. The Buccaneers have a lot going for them, but I think they're still trying to find their identity here this season. The Bills, they have struggled. Josh Allen is playing very streaky. But I think at home against another average to above average team is a good way to get it back on track a little bit. I think the Buffalo Bills take this one.
Yeah. Try and get past 3. You want to be under. You want to have 1 or 2.
Are you still talking about gambling?
Yeah, if you're doing the teaser, yeah.
You're just on the gambling thing.
I'm just, I see opportunity.
You see, there you go. Well, maybe these two teams see opportunity as well. It's an AFC showdown. Two potential playoff teams, the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Pittsburgh to face off against the Steelers, who are, doing pretty good this season. Who would have thought?
Well, it's a stroke of luck. I think they're 4-2.
They're 4-2, yep. And the Jags are 5-2. The NFL, you can't, as much as people want to predict it, there's always going to be curveballs all the time.
It is, but the Steelers have not been playing well, especially on their offensive side of the ball. Like, they don't know exactly what they're doing with Kenny Pickett, and Najee Harris has been a just non-factor in some of those games, which is really concerning.
It's weird because they'll beat teams like the Ravens and the Browns who are playing well and then lose to Houston.
Yeah, I can't trust a team like that. On the other hand, Jaguars, you know what you got with Etienne and Doug Peterson, and you know what you're getting with the Jaguars. I'm comfortable going with Jaguars in that over the Steelers. I can't trust the Steelers. I'd rather have Trevor Lawrence and that offense.
Yeah, the Jags are on a nice little streak here. They're getting things moving on offense. Solidly close to top 10 in a lot of different measurables. I think that we don't overthink this. I think Jaguars, Doug Peterson, he knows what he's doing. He has a good squad there. They have their identity. The Steelers still trying to feel their way out with a quarterback they're not quite comfortable with yet.
Yeah.
So I'm going Jags as well. Next up, we have a good old-fashioned defensive battle here between the Cleveland Browns and the Seattle Seahawks. This is Sunday at 4 p.m. The Browns are for real. That defense, can they stop the Seattle Seahawks?
This is an interesting game. Because I could see this go. I definitely could see this going either way.
These are two of the top 5 defenses. Per NFL.com's rankings.
Right. So I guess it comes down to which offense do you trust more. I think Geno Smith, even though he was comeback player of the year last year, I think he might have hit a little bit of a ceiling this year, as Seattle doesn't seem to be as explosive as they were last year. Cleveland, though, they just seem to be taking hits, and they are still standing. They are still winning games.
They're better without Deshaun Watson, and he will be out. So
I know it's a weird situation. Yeah, it's like no starting quarterback, but I kind of feel better about it with the Browns. I like the Browns actually in this one.
I thought you were going to go Seattle, but I'm going Browns as well. I like them. I like the fact that Deshaun Watson is out. He's really been dragging that team down. That defense and that ground game can control the flow. And you know that if you can control the flow of the game, control the clock, keep the other team's offense off the field, you have a really good shot at winning football games. Number 1 ranked defense, I think it was top 5 in terms of 7th in rushing offense. That's a really good way.
That's a good
to
recipe.
Take control. Yeah.
Even if you sustain injuries, if you can still kind of go hit those objectives, you can win games.
Old school ground and pound sometimes. That's all it takes.
Yeah. So, I agree. Browns.
Which leads us to the Philadelphia Eagles, another top rushing team in the league. We're traveling to Washington to face off against the Commanders. I was just there. I missed them.
Yeah, you could have watched the game.
I could have seen it.
Yeah.
But alas, DC was last week. Rich, will the Eagles be able to take over DC this week?
I think so. I would also say if you're looking for a teaser play with the Bills, you could tag that with the Eagles because I believe their line is around 7 or 8 right now.
Yep,
so
6.5. Yep.
Yep. So you can knock that down for Eagles just to win, and you'll be fine. But I also think a great play on that would be the total under in that game because right now Sam Howell has been kind of regressing the last couple of weeks. They haven't been scoring. I mean, they literally only put up 7 points against the Giants, which they were, dead in the water, and they couldn't take advantage of that poor defense. On the other hand, the Eagles, they just need to win this game and kind of get out of this. They don't want to, I don't think this is a position where the Eagles want to stay in and rub it in. I think they go in, take care of business, and just run out the clock. I think it's that kind of game.
Yeah.
So I would go under in this. If you're doing team totals, I like the total points to go under in this matchup, and Eagles to win.
All right, well, there you go. A little bit of gambling advice. Again, I agree. The Commanders, they looked, a little bit better at the beginning of the season when we first faced them. That was their last good game. Since then, they got blown up by Chicago. They did win a close one against Atlanta, which was kind of the oddball, but then again, they lost a close one to the Giants. So they have really been struggling after the Eagles' loss. I know we struggle against the Commanders, but word on the street is they're shopping defensive ends. They're trying to trade, oh my God, what's his name? Chase Young.
Chase Young, wow.
Yeah, so they're shopping around. They haven't been playing well. I'm just looking at the injury report. The Eagles don't have many players on it. Right now, we're very healthy. We got extra pieces.
I think the Eagles are going to want to stay that way, too. So get in, get out. You know,
keep it simple, ground and pound. Just don't try anything too crazy. You know how to beat the Commanders. Just control the game by dragging it out on the ground. I mean,
yeah,
I think they can do it.
Yeah,
I think they unlocked a new level against Miami. So I hope they continue that trend. And I'm worried I just cursed them right now.
Damn it, Mike. Yeah, that's right.
Everything I do goes the opposite this year.
That's right. Last week you picked the Dolphins and the Eagles won. That's what you should have done.
The Commanders are going to win.
Now you change it.
Does that work?
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
But
both are going to win. It's a tie.
No, isn't that worst case scenario for you?
I don't know.
You hate ties. Yeah. But there you go. That's our fantastic 4 picks for week number 8 of the NFL season. All right, so there you go. The sports sampler is in the books. We're going to take a break, but I just want to preface the break by saying last week I said I was going to pull out some Orson Welles ads.
Oh, God.
So I found the original one that they were able to piece together after Orson Welles showed up to the recording area drunk. That's where we get this famous sound clip from.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
So they're going to hear the completed version.
Right, they're going to hear the final version, that they were able to piece together.
It is going to be a shocker.
Yes. So don't go anywhere. We'll have that during the break, as well as our normal ads. And when we return, we will have the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news to review with you. So don't go anywhere. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We'll be right back.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
The taste of French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There's a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle, and like the best French champagne, it's vintage dated. Paul Masson's superb taste shouldn't be too surprising. This champagne doesn't come from France, but it was created by a man who did, Paul Masson. Paul Masson will sell no wine before it's time.
There you go, the official Orson Welles ad. And if you like that, I guess I can just pull some Orson Welles ads every week.
I like the kind of the random sound clip of the week vibe again, you know?
Yeah. So
I can't believe they got that from the other thing.
Well, he definitely had to come back on a second day to
Oh, he had to come back for a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth.
Yeah, to make sure that this was taken care of, because that first day he appeared on the set, that did not go over too well, but it made such a great sound clip for us to use.
The French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. The French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
You know, I was saying before the show, when you're having a bad day or you're just not 100%, you got to have those like clips that you go to YouTube and make you happy.
Yeah.
That for me, it's like Orson Welles and like, I don't know, some other random thing.
You're just like, man, today.
And Gary Busey. It's Gary Busey and Orson Welles. Like those are the two. Ric Flair. That's probably the Holy Trinity. I can watch any one thing from any one of those three, and I'll just start laughing.
I have a feeling you're going to name like a fourth one because you're like, this one clip, these two clips. No, it's so true, though. You go and you watch a clip like that, no matter how bad your day is going, you're like, at least it's not that bad.
Yes. At least I didn't show up to work drunk and unable to read a script.
I mean, if you're working from home one day, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, if you're working from home, nobody needs to know.
It's like the song in Hamilton, nobody needs to know. You can do whatever you want to do.
We're working from home.
Yeah, the room where it happens.
Yeah, it's my room, the room where it happens. I can be drunk.
I can be drunk. That's just the end of the musical.
That's the end of the song. Yeah, I'm not a musically gifted singer-songwriter. Sorry.
You got some chops.
No, I don't.
Do you still have that old the old clip? Are you hip to the rap music?
Oh no, I lost
that. Was
that.
In the great iPad fire.
Yeah, I lost that in the iPad fire.
That was like one of the OG clips. Like we're talking like first 10 episodes. Rich goes, "I'm hip to the rap music" or something like that.
Yep. I know that. We'd have to really go back in the
Yeah.
archives and try and find that one.
Oof.
But nevertheless,
Anyway.
we have some other things to look forward to, though, with the second part of the show, the return of a previous segment, and some other updates as well in the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty?
Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, entertainment entree time is activated, and we're going to kick it back with the recent return of Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, week 2 of the return.
Yeah, well, again, a lot of video game news. Of course, after the strikes, there's going to be a doldrum of new entertainment in terms of TV and movies. Those will come back eventually. But out of respect to the continued SAG strike, we're going to focus on video games here. But that's okay because we got a big week with Alan Wake 2 coming to Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, and PC. This sequel has been a long time coming, but finally, it will continue the story of the disappearance of horror author Alan Wake. Players control FBI agent Saga Anderson as she investigates a series of ritualistic murders when she finds herself entangled in supernatural horror story created by Alan Wake in order to escape his captivity. It is a spooky-looking game, third-person action. It also is part of that new game universe that Remedy is creating around Control and Alan Wake. So if you've enjoyed Control or enjoyed Alan Wake the first, definitely want to check out this game.
I love this new universe that's being created.
I'm super excited. I did not play the original Alan Wake. It is remastered on PlayStation. I downloaded it for free through PlayStation Plus. Never tried it, but I did find out today that the developer says you don't need to have played Alan Wake to enjoy Alan Wake 2. So, newcomers can jump right in and maybe watch a YouTube video or two. But it's shaping up to be a good one. Go check it out. That's Alan Wake 2. But if you're not into the spooky stuff, you can check out City Skylines 2, which also released this week on PC. Console gamers will have to wait to get their hands on this one, but the sequel promises a lot of improvements and refinements from the critically loved first game, and I know you're eager to check this one out, Rich. You got it queued up on your PC yet, or to be determined?
I have it on my wish list.
Okay.
Because, you know,
you're still working through the backlog.
Yeah, I'm a little behind on my video games, so I need to put that in the back burner. But I will definitely get this at some point. Apparently, I heard the maximum amount of tiles that you can use to build your city like exponentially went up.
Oh wow.
Like somebody on Reddit said it's almost possible to do like the state of Rhode Island.
Wow.
Yeah, like it is
That's
crazy.
Wild.
Like someone worked out like what would be the real life dimensions from one tile to the real world, and it's something like that.
I don't think I've ever built a city anywhere close to that size in any of these games.
Somebody will, and we'll hear about it in the next couple months.
Usually it becomes too unwieldy for me, like the traffic becomes too big of a problem, and I'm like, whatever. And then all my citizens just end up dying in their own filth.
Good job, Mike.
So, but the sequel promises a lot of AI to fix traffic problems, to fix pathing problems. So I'm eager to check it out as well. That's City Skylines 2 hitting PC this week, and that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, thank you for that segment. But we also have an update on the Hollywood strike. What do you got, Mike?
Yeah, so I did mention briefly that SAG is still on strike. SAG and the AMPTP resumed negotiations this week. Those are ongoing. The studios, for their part, offered better rates, but still no revenue sharing model as desired by SAG. And that continues to be the main sticking point. The studios say it's just untenable. And SAG says, no, it's not, because you're multi-billion-dollar companies. So we'll see who wins out in that argument. But the studios also left SAG with this ominous foreshadowing. They said TV shows will have to be canceled soon if a deal is not reached. Some members of SAG took that, interpreted that as a threat. Meanwhile, the studio side is just saying this is the financial reality of a prolonged strike like this one. You guys can draw whatever interpretation you want to from that, but that could be a very real consequence of the strike. I would hate to see shows get canceled over this. The one that pops into my mind, I think is going to get scrapped as Stranger Things. The kids are going to be so old
by the time they
it
get
comes
ready.
back. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know how anybody else feels. I think it'd be really,
That's
or
funny.
maybe they just do a big time jump.
Well, that's funny you mentioned that, because I have heard quotes from like Millie Bobby Brown and some other cast members that saying like they're kind of done with Stranger Things. Like they don't want to go back.
Season 4 had a lot of hype, but I don't know. It was getting a little long in the tooth at times. Like it was still fun, but like maybe it's run its course.
Maybe you just do a movie to conclude it.
Like a movie, yeah. You got to do a time jump. They're like so old now. But
yeah, we'll see. We'll see
that's
what
just
they
an
try to
example
do.
of a show that I think might be on the chopping block. Other bubble shows might get the axe. That, unfortunately, is the reality of it. So we'll see if that is a threat or just business as usual.
Yeah.
One interesting tidbit to come out of this latest round of negotiations with spooky season coming up: SAG warned actors to be careful of Halloween costumes. Actors cannot wear character costumes or post images of character costumes to social media. Instead, SAG recommends costumes from non-struck content, for example, animated shows, or generalized costumes like werewolves, ghosts, etc.
Just wear a bed sheet.
Just cut some holes out for eyes. There you go. Got it all figured out.
Dear God.
But like I saw that headline, I'm like, just the weird implications of the strike that you don't even think about.
Yeah.
They can't wear character costumes.
Yep, sorry.
That is bizarre, but
yeah,
there you go.
That is pretty weird.
There's your strike update. But moving right along, we have a few quick stories to get to. Why don't we go to the leaked images of the new PlayStation 5 detachable disk drive appearing online?
Yep.
Not too big of story here, other than the fact that people noticed that in the image it says an internet connection is required to pair the drive with the system. And this is, I think, a unique wrinkle that nobody really thought about, because like, how does detachable components work in the console world? But the fact that you need an internet connection to pair it, does that mean that you can't like let somebody else borrow it? Is that what they want to do? Prevent you from sharing a disk drive with someone? And also,
that seems odd.
It seems unfair to require an internet connection to.
Wouldn't the whole point of you getting a disk drive is so you can play locally?
Yes, that's exactly what I was getting to. It's like, oh, thank God I can still play my physical media because I live in Oklahoma and I don't have internet. And then it's like, connect to the internet in order to pair your device. So does this kind of undercut the whole process? Is this kind of like cutting it off at the kneecaps before it gets started?
Yeah, they're really trying to get you away from physical media.
So you think this is intentional, or do you think this is something they could just like, oh, our bad, we'll walk that back?
I mean, I think it might have been. I think it might be intentional to start off with, because there's no reason why you would need an internet connection.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like if you want a CD-ROM attachment for your computer, all it needs is a USB. That's it.
Yeah,
like, it should be that simple.
You don't need to go online to pair it with your computer.
Maybe you might need a driver, but that's it. Like the actual hardware.
But drivers are different, because that's like you're working with like multiple computer manufacturers, multiple disk drive manufacturers. This is hypothetically all Sony, so it should come like the operating system should be like, cool,
work.
That's the disk drive.
Yeah,
you know.
So I don't understand the purpose of needing an internet connection.
A little disappointed to see that.
Yeah.
Honestly. It doesn't impact me personally, but I feel bad for people in areas where internet is spotty and they rely on physical media, or people who just like to have physical media or preserve, their game collection. It kind of ruins that, because if there's a situation in which, for whatever reason, Sony's like, those servers are going offline, does that mean you can no longer use that disk drive, or you can't register new disk drives? Then what do you do with your physical media? That it creates a lot of complicated wrinkles that there shouldn't be.
Yeah, it should be just a USB. Just plug it in.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, more than anything else, is there's these additional complications that don't need to be there.
Yeah,
it should be
very
very
I think
simple.
This was intentional
to force people into the digital space.
Yeah.
That's really, why even bother? I mean, they're offering it as a sort of like, well, we did something.
Right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you could still buy disk drives if you want. You could still use disks if you want to.
Yeah. Well, hypothetically,
you dinosaur.
Yeah.
But
don't get stuck in the tar, you dino. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
You stupid fucking dinosaur! Get the fuck out of here!
That's what they're saying. If you're using disks. That's exactly what Sony is saying.
The writing's on the wall, unfortunately.
That dinosaur been working my motherfucking nerves all night.
All night.
The writing's on the wall, though. Discs are going the way of the dinosaur. I got the Spider-Man 2 super duper collector's edition with the statue of Venom.
Yeah,
and all that.
Yeah, the crazy.
What they say online, 19 inches of Venom, which is a really bad way to phrase that. I got myself 19 inches of Venom. Yeah.
Whoa, what's happening there?
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Is this what you're doing at night,
I'm
Mike?
just going to say it's a good-looking statue. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, Mike. Jeez.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Take your damn clothes off!
But the 19 inches of Venom aside...
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
Okay, there's some nastiness happening over Mike's PlayStation.
Yeah, lots of nastiness. But that aside, the point I'm getting at is that I bought the Super Duper Collector's Edition, and they give you the steel book case, and you open it, and there's just a code inside. There's no disc. So you open the box and there's just nothing there except for a code. So like even in the collector's editions, they've stopped providing discs, which I think
what's the whole purpose of like
the steel book is for display purposes. But
well, I guess
it's digital is more convenient, but it still kind of bothers me that it's being forced on people that don't necessarily want it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I've almost entirely made the switch, but there's still some games that I have and prefer digital or physical versions of. You know, Spider-Man would have been one of them, I think. So it's a little disheartening to see it go that way, but unfortunately, I feel like it is inevitable.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
That's what the studios want.
Yeah. I mean, PC's already there.
Yeah, PC already made the switch.
I think console...
No laptops have disk drives anymore.
No, yeah, you can't even get a disk drive. And even if you do buy a USB disk drive, like you talk about, what software comes on disk anymore?
Yeah.
I think even if you get the physical version of Windows and Office, it comes on a flash drive.
Yeah.
So like even if you do go through the trouble of getting the physical version, they just mail you a SanDisk 2 gigabyte flash drive or whatever, you know?
Yep.
So
yeah, physical media is dying.
Yeah. So console gamers, they gotta at some point get on the bandwagon because it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yep.
Oh boy. All right.
So there you go. Mike's frustration there building up. I think at this point, I think we need to go to our third and final segment.
Yeah, let's do it.
All
let's get all the dreariness out of the way, and let's get to something a little bit more bright and cheery, something a little bit wacky and wild. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda de bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders. Go to the bathroom because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to?
All right. I think we can hit both of these stories. They're kind of quick.
Yeah, two stories.
So
let's do it.
Yeah, so I think we get two stories here for the price of one. Both quick stories. Both just extremely fun to imagine.
All right.
The first one here, Louisiana.
Good old Louisiana.
Yep. And boy, this is just the it's one of those things. The first sentence just gives everything away, but it's great to imagine this. But according to Louisiana police, nurses survived a, quote, extremely combative and aggressive patient who was threatening nurses and patients on his floor with multiple sporks. Oh, no!
To use the word survive, he said nurses survived. I've never heard of a sporking before.
Yes, well, here you go. Here's your first sporking.
Aren't they usually, I assume he got them from like the cafeteria. They're made out of plastic. Like you're not doing much damage with
No.
a plastic
But
spork.
he had multiple of them. So was he like stashing these and like one of these days I'm gonna flip out. I've had enough of this place.
He's prepared.
Right.
He's prepared.
He's prepared, yes. He was turning into Wolverine, but with sporks.
What was sporks? Sporkerine?
Sporkerine. Woo!
I just like the image of
I've
him.
had enough of this.
I just like the image of him going to the
Damn
cafeteria.
it, I can't handle another applesauce.
It's like, spork.
Spork.
That's a really slow and painful death. Just kind of like jab him.
All I need is 100 cuts on you. I'll get you.
Death by 100 cut, by 1,000 cuts, yeah. But I love the idea of him going to the cafeteria and not getting any food, but just like grabbing all the sporks that they have.
Yep. So yeah, he had multiple of them on him.
Wow. Those brave healthcare professionals. I love you use the word survive. Like it's some like it's some terrifying like tragedy.
There must have been cause for concern because police officers were dispatched to the Glenwood Regional Health Center in 2 a.m.
I mean, I guess he was acting violent, you know?
It's actually just Alex Jones.
The patient is
Makes
Alex
sense.
Jones. That makes sense. That does make sense.
That tracks. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I feel like he's a person that would attack somebody with a spork.
Yeah.
Like he pretends that I'm going to attack you with my big machete, but no, it's like he only has the balls to attack with a spork.
No, I'm gonna fucking kill you, motherfucker, old style.
So upon arrival at the Glenwood Regional Health Center, hospital staff told cops that 19-year-old Madison Bingham had been extremely combative and aggressive and made numerous threats with the plastic sporks.
So they were plastic.
Yes. Nurses had to dodge the spork stabbing until he could be subdued.
Why do they make this sound so much more action-packed than it really was? This dodging sporks, they make it sound like they're like part of the Matrix or something.
Yes, that's what it is. Yes.
Dodging sporks.
Are you saying I can dodge sporks?
It goes into slow mo. Oh my god.
Yeah. That's what happens when you take the red pill in Louisiana. You can dodge sporks. Congratulations.
That's a very valuable ability, I think, to dodge sporks.
Yeah.
I just can't believe just the tone of this article. They survived. They dodged. They I guess some kind of battle. It was a plastic spork. He probably had 2 of them, one in each hand.
I don't know. They said he had multiple of them.
That could be anywhere from 2 to 100.
He actually had it like on a belt, like a tactical belt. He's just like ready to go.
I want to see him like throw them like batarangs.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
You know?
Sporkarangs.
Sporkarangs.
Take that.
This is a new hero.
Yeah.
Or
Well, he's a villain.
Villain.
He
yeah.
literally is escaping the hospital.
Yeah, with his sporks.
This is what a villain does.
I like Sporkarang.
Sporkarang. Here he comes.
He's just got like he's just got like a utility belt and just like a whole like bundle of sporks.
Yeah, and he's ready to go. That's it.
And I know who it's coming from because I back-traced it. And I know who's emailing and who's doing it. And you've been reported to the cyber police. Consequences will never be the same because you done goofed.
That's actual audio. That's what the Sporkarang sounds like.
That's his villain manifesto.
Yes.
Because you done goofed.
Yes. Consequences will never be the same.
Nope.
Well,
when the spork gets you, the consequences will never be the same.
That's right. You'll have multiple holes.
And I can scoop too.
I'll scoop. Yeah, I'm gonna scoop that. Well, police actually did not take this lightly. They charged him with misdemeanor simple assault and was booked into the local parish jail where he's locked up on a $500 bond.
Oh, that's nothing.
So yeah, but I mean, if you don't have the bond money laying around, yeah, you're in there.
Yeah.
You're
well, at least he has eating utensils with him.
Yes, he's ready to go for the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Any cafeteria fight.
He's ready.
Ready to go. He doesn't need the hot oil to spray across anybody like Rorschach and Watchmen. He doesn't need to do that.
No.
Nope. He's ready to go with just his own weapons.
Yeah, that's right. He comes packing with those sporks.
Yeah. So there you go. True story there out of Louisiana.
Sporks are really only good for attacking people. They're not effective eating utensils.
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten with a spork?
Yeah.
You
it's
can't
not effective.
stab really good. You can't scoop very well.
Yeah. Stop at hospitals.
I want to see a spork with a serrated edge on the side, so it's all 3 in 1.
Yeah.
It's a knife, a fork, and a
Sporkive.
sporkive.
Sporkive? I don't know.
Does that work?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm sure it's out there, right? A spork knife.
At this rate, just get like a Swiss Army spork or something.
A Swiss Army knife would work.
Something.
That probably has everything in it.
I would hope so. But let's get to our second story.
All right. What do you got for us? Where are we heading?
Going to Arkansas in this story. So this is all down south. Everything's down south.
But not Florida.
No, Florida's taking some time off.
We got Louisiana and Arkansas.
Arkansas. Yeah, this is Arkansas. Here's another crazy story here to wrap up the show. This happened on Sunday morning. A Arkansas cop said that he spotted a suspicious car that was parked outside a commercial storage facility. The cop was circling that storage facility because it had been broken into 16 times this year.
Wow, that's a lot.
And 36 times last year.
Wow. Well, they did cut down on the break-ins, though.
But what is happening at does this police report say what's happening at this commercial storage facility? There must be some good stuff in here. It's been broken 52 times in the past 2 years.
I would not want to keep my stuff in that storage facility.
Yeah, it's prime.
It should be broken into 0 times.
Yeah.
0.
52 times in the last 2 years.
The whole purpose of the facility is to securely store people's things.
Yeah.
And it's been broken into 52 times.
Yeah. In the last 2 years.
They are not succeeding at their stated goal.
Yeah, whatever this commercial storage facility
You're better off burying your stuff in the backyard.
Yeah, at this rate. Yeah,
Have you ever been in a storage facility?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
They're creepy.
Yeah. It does seem like that is a good place for crime.
Let me tell you something. I don't want to be in a storage facility at night, during the day, by myself.
Well,
I don't want to go to them.
Well, luckily,
period. I hate them.
Luckily, when you're in one of them, there's usually no windows, so you usually can't tell what time it is. So you're good there.
They're just creepy, man.
Yeah.
Creepy. Have you ever seen the things where you can bid on the storage?
Yeah, that's creepy.
That's creepy.
I feel like you never know what you're going to get.
You don't want to go in on one with me?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm kind of curious. Did you know you can also buy pallets of... I told this to Jordan, and she's like, don't go buy this. You can buy a pallet of undelivered Amazon stuff. They just have like pallets of stuff that like couldn't be delivered or got returned or like got lost. And you just buy a pallet of like random Amazon crap that nobody wanted. And like lost mail.
What, lost mail?
No, like you can buy like lost mail.
Sounds like a good way to steal someone's identity.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how reputable these things are. I see a lot. I saw some weird stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I'm like,
you
I don't know.
are definitely
I'm on the wrong side of Facebook Marketplace.
You are definitely Googling some weird things. Yes.
I didn't Google it. It showed up. And like estate sales.
That's
too?
what they all say, Mike.
I'm just saying, man. It's interesting. Like estate sales.
You
cool
Googled.
too.
Last week. You Googled how do I commit crime.
That's exactly.
That's how this started.
Every night after the podcast, I'm like, how to make crime. How to crime.
How to crime.
How to crime.
Yes, that sounds logical.
So, how did this person crime?
Okay. So anyway, let's get back to the story here. So we're in Arkansas. We're outside this commercial storage facility that has been broken into 52 times in the last 2 years. So
Which is why the cops are circling it.
Right. That's why there's always a cop on duty in this location.
Right.
Well, on Sunday morning, they spotted this suspicious-looking car. The sheriff's deputy noted that at 12:45 in the morning, the vehicle started rocking in the police report.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Oh, boy.
But when the cop walked up to inspect the automobile, he spotted 50-year-old Theodore Morgavin.
I like to kick, stretch, and kick. I'm 50. 50 years old.
So there you go, 50 years old. They spotted 50-year-old Theodore Morgavin having sex with a stuffed animal inside of the car.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Take your damn clothes off.
That was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
So, yeah.
I
Going
don't
to town.
understand why he had to take the stuffed animal to the parking lot.
That's the only place you could get some privacy.
No.
Let's get to bashing butts as well as D's nuts.
I understand if you're doing something untoward, maybe you want to take it to an abandoned parking lot, right? But like a stuffed animal, like just do it in your house. I don't know. Does this person not have a house maybe that he can do this with the stuffed animal? Maybe he's living with a bunch of roommates and he doesn't want them, but like,
well,
it seems like a lot of effort.
According to the police report, he is a divorced father of 3, so maybe he has some children around.
Oh no!
I was waiting for you to connect 2 and 2.
Oh, no wonder he's divorced.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Oh, now you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
Yeah.
How many toys has he defiled? Sometimes divorce is the right option.
Yeah. So we now know the sourcing of those toys.
Oh man, so that's why he's taken to the parking lot.
Yeah.
Little Billy's going to be really upset if he catches Papa Billy.
Yeah. So anyway.
Oh, no. Okay.
Papa Teddy. His name's
Papa Teddy.
Theodore Morgavin. So Papa Teddy. He has a history of crime. He's on probation. So the cop is allowed to search his automobile without the need for a warrant.
Okay.
And according to the police report, they found that he had meth on him as well. So there you go. He's got the full boatload here.
You want to cook crystal meth?
I'm the cook.
So
I wish I could say I was surprised, but a 50-year-old divorced man having sex with a stuffed animal in Arkansas, it's definitely meth. It's always meth.
Something just came over me and I took my clothes off.
I'd be more surprised if meth wasn't involved.
Yeah.
So meth.
Yes.
Sexing a stuffed animal. And then in the storage facility.
Yeah.
I feel like there still could have been a better place to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go do it. I'm just saying there was a better place to do it.
Yeah, and not outside the place that's been robbed 52 times in the past 2 years.
Well, I mean, I guess he didn't know that, right?
I mean, I guess not, but maybe,
It's just like storage facility. Nobody's here at 1 a.m. So this is where I bang Bubsy the bunny. Or what? I don't know. What's the stuffed animal name?
I like that.
What was the stuffed animal?
It doesn't say in the
Doesn't
police
say?
report.
Damn.
Look, we need to protect the identity of the.
It's probably an Elmo.
We need to protect the identity of the stuffed animal.
He was trying to tickle Elmo.
That we.
This is a creepy. You ever see those Tickle Me Elmos?
Yes.
I can't think of a more perverted stuffed animal than Tickle Me Elmo.
Not a finger!
Yes.
Definitely not.
Not definitely not a finger there. No.
Not a finger!
So he was charged with 2 felony drug charges and misdemeanor counts of public sexual indecency and possession of drug paraphernalia.
And they really got him.
Yep. He is free on a $5,000 bond, and you know what? He's rolling the dice. He's pleading not guilty. Wow.
I don't know why people like. What's the argument?
Yeah, so he's gonna fight this? Wow.
It's like, Your Honor, the cop didn't know what he was looking at.
I was grabbing materials from the commercial lot, and I had a toy that I was gonna give to my child, and I was naked.
I fell onto it naked, And
yes, it's very slippery out here. And I slipped and fell and right on top of the toy.
And did I penetrate the Elmo? I did, but I didn't
Take your damn clothes off.
Like, what? I don't know. There's no argument for that.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
Wow. Yeah. Good luck, buddy. I don't know how you're going to defend that.
I don't know. Complete insanity.
At that rate, I mean, I guess you could. Yeah.
That's more likely.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way.
The stuffed animal told me to take my clothes off.
Your Honor, the stuffed animal was coming on to me.
Help!
Take your damn clothes off.
It's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
It yelled at me.
He's actually the victim
Yeah.
of the stuffed animal.
Right.
They're very persuasive,
Yeah.
those stuffed animals.
So
there you go. Arkansas, a gem, a true gem.
Yeah, there you go. 2 for the price of 1 odd news stories for this week's episode. And both of them down south.
Yeah, both of them down south. And really, Arkansas, that's the best you have? Is that the best of you? Is this man with his Elmo?
Whatever the object was. Yeah.
I assume it was Elmo. What other stuffed animals are there?
There's a lot.
Maybe it's just a random animal.
Yeah.
Like a bear.
We have to protect the identity of the poor
of the animal.
Stuffed animal.
Right.
All right. It's not its fault that it got dragged into this.
Man, that's just so foul.
Yeah.
Because you know where he got that stuffed toy.
Yep. God. Yeah. But he loves being in the car with it.
Apparently.
Next to the...
A little too much.
Yeah, next to the commercial
storage
lot
facility thing.
Yep. So there you go. Those are the 2 odd news stories I have for you. And that will wrap it up for this week's episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all social media, Facebook, X, whatever that is, and Instagram. Whatever. I still hate that. Why is it X?
It's called Twitter.
Yeah. Formerly known as Twitter, whatever the hell they're saying.
So dumb.
But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get our episodes sent to you every week. There are 3 main ways to do that. One is on YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button and you'll get our latest episodes sent to your YouTube account. Number 2 is on Facebook. Our episodes go up on Facebook Watch, so you can watch us directly on Facebook. And number 3 is through Spotify. The video podcast will go up on Spotify, but also you can put Spotify on in the background and you can listen to us as an audio-only podcast. And using Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you can take us on the go through Spotify. So you can listen to our show while you're doing your daily commute. If you want some crazy odd news on your way to work and be like, hey, Bob, you hear about this crazy guy?
Hopefully you don't work at storage facilities.
Yeah.
Though. That'd be...
Also, did our storage facility get robbed 52 times in the past 2 years?
What bad staff.
Yeah. So there you go.
So many ways to get in touch with and share the Crispy Noodle Podcast. But if you need to get in touch with us individually on X and or Twitter to share your sports, entertainment, and odd news stories, you can find us there. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on Twitter or X or whatever. Let us know what's happening. Let us know any stories you want us to cover on next week's episode. But for right now, we got to wrap it up. That'll do it. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.